It's one of the greatest dramas in Earth's history. How the Indian subcontinent crashes north into Eurasia. The story began 35 million years ago, and it's still going on today. This vast collision makes the Himalayas our highest mountain range, and the Qinghai Tibetan Plateau the roof of the world. China's three mightiest rivers flow down off the plateau. This geological mega-collision created China's climate, with huge sandy deserts, temperate forests, and monsoon rains, and still helps shape people's lives today. In this series, we follow the people of China through 1 year, revealing, spectacular, dramatic, all revealed from the air. A year of surprises, as a nation of 1.4 billion faces incredible opportunities and challenges. For millennia, people in China have divided the year not into 12 months, but into 24 solar terms. Each new term marks a crucial moment in the agricultural year. As May begins, the country enters a new solar term. Here, summer strikes the landscape in different ways. In the south, the rising temperatures bring storms and rain. The great cities greet an onrush of tourists, while the northern provinces can be threatened by drought. For everyone, summer brings challenges and opportunities seen nowhere else on Earth. Each May, tropical Pacific air covers the land south of the Yangtze, bringing heavy rains throughout summer. In Guizhou province, this climate has created something incredible. Monsoon rains have cut the soft limestone land into spectacular, verdant peaks. Here, the mountains create remote, isolated valleys, one of which is home to something that is truly unique: the world's largest radio telescope. This is the 500-meter aperture spherical telescope, otherwise known as FAST. For astronomer Pan Zhichen, working here is the culmination of a long-held ambition to understand the cosmos.
你儿时有很多梦想，就这个梦想甚至荒唐到你儿时都觉得你不可能实现。这是一件很神奇、很不可思议，但是让你觉得，就我该好好努力，应该继续做的一件事情。
Construction began in 2008. This location was chosen because Guizhou's steep mountains protect the telescope from interference from mobile phones and Wi-Fi.
因为离我们附近最近的镇可能都有7、8公里路，而且就是说，因为这个就是说防干扰的原因嘛，我们现在就是那个，比如说沟通基本靠吼，那个交通基本靠走。
This is no ordinary telescope. Each of its 4,450 aluminum panels can move to find the optimum position to bounce radio waves onto the antenna. FAST can record radio signals from the furthest reaches of the cosmos, ready to be analyzed by scientists like Pan. First, they will hunt for a kind of collapsed star, known as pulsars.
脉冲星是一个，你可以认为它就是一个球，但它非常重，在太空中非常快的转。 它是我们比如说测量宇宙的一个很宝贵的一个，可以说是一把尺子吧。所以我们尽可能多发现它。
Studying pulsars can shed light on how the universe began. FAST's 500-meter diameter makes it extraordinarily sensitive to the signals pulsars give off.
就是说，通俗的说，我们就是进一步提高灵敏度，让它能看到更暗的东西，我们能找到别人找不到的更暗的信号。
Pan and his colleagues have already discovered 100 new pulsars. And the telescope has only just become fully operational.
而且随后的更多的发现证明，我们的灵敏度非常好。我们这个灵敏度看到非常长的信号，别的望远镜可能看起来就是非常微弱。
The unparalleled scale and complexity of the FAST telescope also makes it the world's best chance of detecting extraterrestrial life. Pan believes it could become the world's greatest scientific achievement.
我们宇宙始终存在着无数的未知，等待着我们发现。我们一旦有了新的设备，很可能我们就会有新的突破。这个突破可能是对于我们人类认识的改变，也可能是对我们人类生活的一个变化。
And it's all possible because of Guizhou's isolated valleys. This landscape is the biggest and purest block of limestone on the planet. 500,000 square kilometers of intricately eroded stone that create spectacular cliffs, arches, and rounded mountains that look straight out of a Chinese watercolor. In Guizhou, these fertile valleys are home to small agricultural settlements. And some fear that this remote landscape could be holding them back. It's something that Guizhou native Yue Lin worries about.
比如说，人家就是开玩笑，我们以前出国留学，或者是我们同学摆给我们听，他们到别的省市去那个，他们对贵州的印象都是那种大山，都还开玩笑问我们是不是骑马上学，是不是大家各自站一个山头，然后对喊这样。
Yue is an engineer and has a plan to make Guizhou more connected. She's working on one of the world's tallest and most spectacular bridges. 3 enormous towers cross the Saodu Canyon, cresting 332 meters into the air. Soon, these will hold a 4-lane road bridge that will be the final link of an expressway that will cut drive times across Guizhou province in half. Today, Yue must complete a crucial stage in the construction of this mega bridge. Hoisting this 165-ton steel section all the way up to the bridge deck, 160 meters in the air.
它的难度是有的，就是我们在整个提升的过程中，就是要连续的提升，大概有，基本上是我们是160米的高度嘛。就是所以我们在吊装的过程中，会一直对它持续的进行那个线型变化的一个测量。
The beam is so heavy, lifting one corner at a different speed to the others could cause it to buckle. To maintain balance on the huge tower, Yue must add identical beams to both sides of the bridge at the same time. One section is assembled at ground level. The other is put together on the bridge deck, ready to be simultaneously set in place. But just before they are due to begin, nature throws up a challenge. A seasonal storm arrives and stops all work on the bridge.
如果是说 暴雨来了或者大风来了，可能我们就不再继续提升了，因为桥面上的施工人员啊那些可能都需要撤离啊那些之类的。
On a steel structure like this, the risk of a lightning strike is too high to continue working today. In Guizhou, there's a break in the weather. Now Yue Lin and her team can attach this huge beam of steel to their colossal new bridge. After she checks everything, it's liftoff. But this 160-ton grid of steel won't travel like a rocket. It weighs so much that any swaying or excess movement could cause the steel cables holding it to shear and break. The team take it slow, carefully monitoring the steel section that's coming up and the one that must be placed on the other side. The beam finally arrives at the bridge deck, but the work is only just beginning.
去了嘛，现在做那个螺栓的连接。
Workers step out onto the new steel section, held loosely 160 meters above the ground, to bolt it onto the bridge deck. Many journeys will be made across this bridge, but few will be as hair-raising as this. After 15 hours, both sections are in place, bolted onto the deck, ready to be welded.
每成功安装一块，都是说我们离合拢更近一步。对我们个人来说，就是说好像是一个大目标中间的一些小目标，每一次安装完毕都是一个小目标的达成，肯定是有一些很满足的地方的。
When complete, this bridge will be the tallest ever built in Asia. In China, 150,000 kilometers of road are built each year. This has allowed engineers like Yue to turn Guizhou's mountainous landscape into a hotspot for spectacular bridges. As the summer progresses, it's not the bridges that are the center of attention here, but the rivers. Guizhou's unpredictable terrain gives it a unique property. It forces its rivers to flow in 3 different directions as they make their way to the sea. The Uyang River flows east as it snakes through the mountainous terrain. Nestled between the water and hills is Jianyuan. Each summer, on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, something unusual can be glimpsed on the streets of this small town. A ceremony that has its roots in the ancient past.
人讲嘛，我就讲嘛，因为我的真是说，他那个都是石口，石子的口，虎牙。你看那个鼻孔两边那个鹰嘴。
This is Dragon Boat Festival, a national holiday celebrated in unique style in Jianyuan. The head of this dragon is paraded through the streets. Tradition suggests this will tame the summer rains and bring the residents a good harvest. And this is just the start. On the riverbank, crowds gather for the centerpiece of this festival. A series of boat races on the Uyang River. One team is headed by Zheng Guanglun.
对，全部是年轻的，他们这些年纪全部是25岁到35岁的，他们全部都是在家种烤烟的，一个人种30多亩的，全部是年轻人，力量很有的。你看我们这个船的话，上面的人身上全部黑的，我们今天的肯定能夺冠了，拿到金杯。
Zheng's team have been training for a month. They wear luminous green for the competition. To be crowned victors, they will need to beat 23 other teams that hail from the surrounding villages. Dragon Boat Festival is celebrated with races like this all across China. But the course in Jianyuan is unusual. The winding Uyang River forces the race around tight corners, making clashes between boats likely. Zheng and his crew come third. For them, Dragon Boat Festival is over. But there's still much to enjoy in Jianyuan today, as they continue this ancient tradition in modern times. And summer has much more in store for the citizens of China. In China, each June, a modern ritual takes place. Secondary schools across the country prime their students for a grueling 3-day challenge. The Gaokao, China's university entrance exam. The government has ambitious targets to keep girls and minorities in school for the full 12 years of state education, giving many free boarding and bursaries. The literacy rate in the country is now 95%, where in the 80s it was just 65%. For each student, all this builds towards the Gaokao. It's known as the world's hardest exam, and parents gather nervously outside schools whilst their children work to earn a place at a top university. The end of exams signals the beginning of the holiday season. And many people take vacations across China, flocking to the Paradise Islands of the south. But for some communities who live off the land, there's no time for rest. This solar term is when cereal crops like wheat and barley are mature and must be harvested. In a country that has 22% of the planet's population, but only 7% of the world's cultivatable land, many lives depend on this successful harvest. The rhythm of harvest has remained the same for millennia. But in China today, there are others in the country for whom summer means something very different. In western Hubei province lies Badong County. Here, the Shunong River cuts through the terrain as it bears down on the Yangtze, leaving huge, steep gorges in its wake. Daredevils from across the world gather here to undertake an extreme sport. wingsuit flying. It's regarded as the most dangerous sport in the world. It's little known in China. But Sheng Guangqiang is a professional flyer who can compete with the best.
其实每个人呢都有向往蓝天的这种梦想，我呢也是其中一个。我觉得呢，我从小呢就看到这个天上有鸟飞的时候，或者鹰飞的时候，我就想我什么时候能飞上蓝天。
Sheng is one of 12 wingsuit flyers from 7 countries who have gathered in Badong County for a unique competition. Today, the competition challenge is to leap from a helicopter, fly through the air, hit these balloons, and then land at the bottom of this narrow valley. Sheng will represent China in the competition.
它是所有极限运动中的这个之最的，它的风险性最高的。当我们在空中如果是俯冲的时候呢，这个身体是这个速度是非常快的，也最高的时速能达到接近200公里的速度。
Sheng is the first of the 12 competitors to take the plunge.
当我真正踏到门槛，特别，我会想，我真的要跳下去了，我会不会活着打开我的降落伞？
Sheng's suit inflates as he falls, adding surface area to his body to turn him into a wing.
但这种在高速情况下，要非常的微妙，非常的要配合的非常的好，否则的话你会出现抖动，会不稳定。
Sheng just misses the target on his attempt. Today, just 3 flyers hit the balloons. As the Chinese countryside opens up to spectacles like this, Sheng and his friends are sure to find other places to fly in.
因为呢，中国呢是一个这个地形呢变化非常大的国家，从西边西高东低这个过程，这中间呢有很多这个大的断脉、山体、悬崖都很多，这个场地呢也非常适合这个低空跳伞或者是翼装飞行这种条件。
But there are some environments that are considered too extreme to travel through, until now. Inner Mongolia. This landscape forms part of China's border with Siberia. Winter temperatures can drop as low as -40 degrees centigrade. But as summer rises, this remote region begins to look welcoming. In the northeast of Inner Mongolia, a mountain range stretches out over 1,200 kilometers long. These are the Greater Khingan Mountains. Blanketed on top is China's largest forest. 150,000 square kilometers of trees, almost uninterrupted by human habitation. But a hardy group of people have made a home here. The Evenki. In the early 18th century, these reindeer herders traveled across Siberia into China, searching for rich hunting grounds. Gorgerjun is one of the 30,000 Evenki who still call this forest home.
驯鹿吧，在森林里叫森林之舟，就我们的最亲密的生活伙伴。从小就养它。中国唯一的史鹿部落就是饲养驯鹿的，就是我们这儿的。对我的鹿最高兴的是哪个？是包青天。他有一副非常威武的大角， 你一喊他名字，他就把脑袋一抬起来，还非常乖，非常温顺。
Life for a Venki like Gore has changed a lot recently. The Evenki are traditionally nomadic, their lives built around their reindeer herd, roaming through this forest. But in 2003, to protect depleted forest areas, the Evenki were settled in a permanent township called Arlogoya. Hunting was banned to protect the forest ecosystem. For Gore, there are some things he misses about his old nomadic life.
一天一枪啊，声音。人家我们鄂温克史路部落是最后一个狩猎部落，狩猎部落是用枪的，现在这个狩猎文化没有了，一身的本事全丢了。身份证号不记得，我们枪号记得，忘不了。上派出所去交枪的时候，当时吧没感觉出来，啊，回家晚上坐着喝酒，慢慢的眼泪都掉下来。
In the town, Gore's reindeer struggled to adjust to sedentary life. Gore acts as the vet for 1,000 reindeer in the region and saw the problems firsthand.
它在野外，它这个东西属于半野生动物，在家里的话，它就吃的是人工饲养的东西，它不太适应。从15年开始的吧，它驯鹿得疾病非常多，怪胎非常多，所以说这个驯鹿的退化相当严重。 鹿的体型也越来越小。
Inbreeding made the herd less healthy, potentially terminally. The Evenki were facing life without their reindeer. But salvation came from far away. The local government arranged for 30 reindeer from Holland to join the Evenki herd.
我们一行去了13个人呢，出来一看那小鹿，哎呦，大眼睛锃亮，哎呀，那种灵性就感觉不出来了。我说我们奥卢亚乡鄂温克养这个些驯鹿有救了，这些都是救星。
To keep the herd healthy, the Evenki now split their time between their homes in Arlogoya and camps in the forest.
哎，小孙，
哎，来了，师傅
啊，长个儿喽，
长个了，
长个儿了，
没少长。
对，这回来之后了，这刚开始是不太适应，现在最近是看段时间的话，这都比较恢复的不错。
It's not the only change the Evenki have adapted to. The height of summer brings them a whole new routine. Tourism.
我们这个鄂温克族在山上待了好几百年了，我这个驯鹿吧，就是这个非常喜爱干净。搞旅游就为了就是游客来了，随时随地都能参观到，能看到这么温顺的鹿，越来越多的人就了解我们的民族。
The Evenki have adapted their lifestyles to keep their reindeer healthy, their culture alive, and to bring it to more people.
虽说辛苦吧，倒是过得充实，也是挺愉快的事儿。
The limestone mountains of southern China remain green year-round. As you travel to China's far west, summer turns the earth dusty and brown, and you meet an austere landscape. In China's largest province, 3 high mountain ranges enclose half of the region. Within them, an uninhabitable desert almost the size of Germany, dominates. The shifting sands of the Taklamakan Desert have posed a problem for travelers for centuries. Ancient ruins on the outskirts bear witness to the Silk Road trading route. It plotted 2 courses around this desert because going directly through was too dangerous. Today, a new railway line is being built through this landscape to make crossing the desert easier. The Gerkou Railway will cover over 1,000 kilometers and link Xinjiang with Qinghai Province. Mountains are traversed with bridges and tunnels. But right on the edge of the desert, there's an unexpected obstacle on the route. A lake. Careful conservation over 30 years has made Lake Taiterma a haven for wildlife. But now, the railway needs to push right through. It's engineer Wang Libor's job to make sure that it doesn't disrupt the fragile environment.
我们标准是重难点工程是台特马湖特大桥。
This lake makes Wang's job hard. Building at ground level would affect the natural movement of sand and water. To tunnel below the lake risks the line flooding and being inundated with sand. So Wang now works to build a bridge over the water.
因为整个湖区的长度呢是7.7公里，所以桥基本上是8公里。
It's not easy to construct a massive railway bridge in such a remote location. To make it possible, engineers decided to build a huge temporary factory on the edge of the desert. Here, they produce thousands of identical concrete beams. When complete, each one is transported along the newly laid rails to the end of the line, where it is put in place to make the line longer.
我们为自己做的工作，我们是感到骄傲的。我们主要实际上要改善一个民生的问题，那么拉近我们城市和偏远地区之间的连接和沟通，体现我们人性光辉的一面。
With Wang's help, this railway will make travel across the once formidable Taklamakan Desert easy. At the end of July, China enters a new solar term. This is the hottest time of the year. Across China, people seek out cooling food and drink. In the south, fruits like pineapples and lychee are favored. In the north, mutton soup and ginger tea are the staples. And in Sichuan province, for some people, major heat is the time to light fires. The Qin Mountains shield Sichuan from the Siberian winds that chill the north, keeping the province warm even at high altitudes. In the region of Liangshan, this creates the perfect conditions to grow a unique plant, Artemisia argi. For millennia, it has been used in traditional Chinese medicine, in acupuncture, and as a painkiller. For the Yi ethnic minority who live in this part of Sichuan, each July, Artemisia becomes the center of Torch Festival.
因为火把节对我们民族来说是一个特别重要的节日，所以我们全家人都会提前10几天就去山上采蒿草，然后把采好的蒿草带回家，做足够的火把，让我们足够玩3天。
The Yi are one of China's 55 recognized ethnic minority nationalities. There are 9 million who live in mountainous, rural areas of southern China. Mao Shuilin and her family use the Artemisia to make torches that will be burnt throughout Torch Festival. Tradition suggests this will keep their crops free of pests and disease. Torch Festival begins high on the mountains near Mao Shuilin's village. Elder She Janise has been to Torch Festival for nearly 40 years.
所以就在第一次这个参加火把节的时候，特别稀奇，特别这个激动哦。当时我们看到的时候呢，还有长沙锅的在这边耍，还有斗牛的在这里，还有摔跤的在这边。现在我们这儿集中起来在这儿走。当时呢，有几个场地都这样子的，我都不知道看哪一边。哦，就是这样子，心情非常激动。
The festival has become a rite of passage for many young Yi people.
因为今年我参加了火把节的选美比赛。当时选美的时候，刚开始我是特别紧张的，因为第一次嘛，所以就心里面还是很害怕。
For Mao Shuilin, the beauty pageant isn't about winning.
因为我们这些小乡村的话，就很少有展示自己的机会。然后当时看到那么多照相机啊，还有那么多人愿意和自己合影，心里面就特别高兴。
The daytime events culminate with the spectacular showpiece dance that is best appreciated from the air. And this is just the start of the festivities. The most famous part of the Yi Torch Festival takes place at night. Each family lights a torch and parades through the village.
宜出的这个火把节，就是叫这个火文化、火的传统，也就是火把节，所以就还是非常重要。
In centuries gone by, this would have been the end of the ceremony. High on the hills.
过去我们这个大部分呢都是在这个彝族，有些是山间的汉族在。现在呢，我们这个彝族火把节的时候的话，不仅是这个我们这个彝族人民了，很多汉族或者是有些国内外的一些朋友都是喜欢我们这个彝族火把节。
Today, so many people want to watch and take part. The tradition spreads into the town of Liangshan. Tourists from across the country flock to see the fires that line the streets. Fire torches blend with modern electric lights, like people from two eras celebrating the same event. As more and more people learn of the festival and travel to see it, people like She Janise hope this change means a bright future for this tradition.
很多游客的话都是很喜欢我们这个彝族的这个火把节，民间这个传统火把节这个节日的话，要继续传下去。
Fire Torch Festival is not the only event drawing huge crowds at the height of summer. Up in the north, there are others who take great risks in the name of entertainment. In Ningxia Province, over 300 kilometers of the Yellow River winds through the countryside, carving steep gorges into the ancient landscape. Summer is dusty in Ningxia. The loose soil blows into the river, staining it in the deep, distinctive yellow for which it's famed. Even at the height of summer, green clings to the banks of the Yellow River. These fertile areas of the province are known for producing fine wine. At the Qingtong Gorge, two people hope to cross the life-giving river in spectacular fashion.
我明天就开始走这个黄河的1800米的钢丝。
Adil is a master of darwaz, a performance of high-wire walking without a safety net.
好，好，这是我们的家族450年的历史，一直都没有戴过保险绳。
The river is so wide that at its center, the high wire can only be stabilized with heavy hanging weights.
准备好了，好。钢丝上面走的时候啊，每一步都心里有危险，那就是底下跟我们干扰的东西啊很多，肯定怕。
Simply crossing the river on this high wire would be too easy for a veteran performer like Adil. To keep it interesting, his apprentice Sitar is setting off from the other side at the same time.
我们也以前没走过1800米的钢丝，出事的话，自己的生命就没有了。
The long bars they carry help them balance, evening out any sudden movements they make.
我的第一个徒弟就是小达，5年在这是没有，但是很小嘛，就是我的家。他的一个表演和我的表演能结合到一起。
是通知我这个黄河走钢丝，我很激动，很高兴。
As they meet high over the water, the hardest part of the challenge begins: to find a way to pass each other on the wire. Adil and Sitar meet on an 1,800-meter-long high wire over the Yellow River. Now, they must find a way to pass each other. It's a test of skill and trust. Now, they must keep their composure and make it to dry land.
一个在你像这个钢丝上面，好像你是硬的感觉，你上面有飞的感觉，但是你的心呢就跳的感觉，跳的。
It's another successful performance by Adil and Sitar. Adil knows this achievement connects them to a fated lineage of high wire walkers.
这是我们家族能干的事，能450年的历史，我们的第2代， 我们家族的，在北京的故宫里面给乾隆皇帝表演过。那我就是一步一步能走完这个1800米。
For Sitar, he hopes this performance will encourage the next generation to learn this art.
我的目标是，我以后我做不了的话，是儿子做钢丝这个行业。
This performance will live long in the memory of all those who witness it. In China, sparsely populated provinces like Ningxia are a northern phenomenon. Traveling south, megacities rise. Like Xi'an, Wuhan, and Changsha, culminating in the metropolises that dot the south coast, one of which is the most densely populated region on Earth. Reaching into the Pearl River Delta lies the city of Macau, covering just 31 square kilometers of land. It is home to almost 700,000 people. Macau is known as the Las Vegas of Asia. Each year, 30 million tourists visit this tiny city. Summer is peak season. One of the famous attractions is the House of Dancing Water. This show brings 90 performers and 160 technicians from 25 countries together. Principal dancer Chun Jin is from Zhejiang and thinks this could only happen in this specific area of China.
我觉得水舞间的创作和它的感都基于澳门这个本身很有特色的这个地域文化，就是中西结合，可以跟不同的人接触。还有不同的文化融合在这里。
Macau was a Portuguese colony for over 400 years, and it retains its welcoming attitude to outsiders. Chun plays the princess in the water show. Before moving to Macau, Chun was a traditional ballerina.
第一次看水舞间的时候，给我的感觉是很奇妙。必须要成为这其中的一份子。
Much of the performance happens in a 3.7 million gallon pool of water. Chun's first challenge was to learn how to swim.
那来到水舞间对于我来说最大的困难应该就是游泳了，因为之前我不会游泳。
The team behind this show come from across the world to combine their expertise. Working with this international team of experts helped Chun adapt to her role quickly.
但是当然，我们有非常专业的团队，所以其实我非常信任我们的团队，所以我可以很放心的把自己交给他们，可以在水底舞蹈，然后1分钟都不需要任何人的帮助。
6 million people have come to see it so far. A unique display of what can be achieved when the world comes to China.
在这里，虽然有来自不同国家的人，但是我觉得我们这就像一个大家庭一样。
For many across China, summer brings great challenges. But it's also a time of beauty and opportunity. Travelers see the country come together as the people explore their heritage Summer is a time to see this unique country at its best.